Hello, I am Riley Wade and I'm in the Thursday class. So for those of you that are in the Tuesday class and don't know much about me, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself real quick. So I'm here at SEMO to major in nursing and minor in psychology because I plan on getting my master's degree in psychiatric nurse practitioning. And a hobby of mine would be working out, but I don't do that often, but I still enjoy it. And to introduce my paper a little bit, it's kind of personal, my significant event, so I'm going to stay pretty vague about it. I'm not going to include any names or anything, but I'm going to give you the sum up of it. So my best friend moved away in 2017. It was around September, and she moved due to a family issue. So her parents were separated, and the parent she was with in my town with me had an addiction issue. And it got to the point where she had to move with the other parent who lives about 1,000 miles from my town. And she enlisted in the Army when she got there, so I've probably seen her about 2 times since then, but we still talk pretty frequently. But it really affected me just because she was basically a part of my family and my parents almost adopted her. But we couldn't officially do that since she's still a parent that was able to take care of her. So for the paper, as we all did, we researched and analyzed the current events going around, and I chose household instead of school, and then town, state, country, and then our nation. And the one I'm going to focus on is probably the town, the state, and the country. So in my town, which was Farmington, nothing really abnormal was happening. There was just our basic festivals, like our fall festival, where people just gathered around on the main streets of Farmington and drank. There was games, there was a band, just stuff like that. And then there's also another event. It's called the Hot Dippity Dog, and the water park, before they close down for the season, they let you bring their dog or your dogs in to play in the pools, and it's actually a lot of fun. That's where I got my dog at. But nothing really was going on besides that. It's a pretty small town, nothing crazy really happens. And then the state is Missouri, so Farmington, Missouri. And nothing really crazy was happening in Missouri either, but they were having a lot of educational success I found in my research. SEMO actually launched a new engineering program around this time, and due to all the STEM jobs that were in high demand, and they were actually ranked the 13th most popular state for international students coming in. And nothing really else besides educational issues, maybe a few political issues, but nothing crazy. And then for the country, what I did for my research, obviously there's a lot of things going on in the country as a whole, but I tried finding things that might pertain to my topic just because I have more wiggle room with this. So I found that there was actually an incline in alcohol related deaths, and if you look at that deeper, it's basically just an incline in alcoholism, and it actually had the deaths double within the past decade, or past 2 decades, I believe. So the increase in alcoholism did pertain to my topic, so that kind of leads into my conclusion. For my town and state, there was nothing that really played any kind of role in why my friend would have moved and why it would have influenced her family to do anything abnormal. But for the country, the incline of alcohol-related deaths, the addiction problem that her parents suffered actually was alcoholism. So the fact that it was inclining like so rapidly at this time, and I'm not going to say which gender it targets more, but the gender it targets more is the gender of the parent that was suffering from this addiction. And obviously that's not the cause to why this all happened, but it is, I think, a really big key influence just because it was happening around the world, and it was kind of not necessarily common, but alcoholism is pretty popular nowadays, which is not great, but it is like more of a trend, and most people know someone that has or is currently suffering from alcoholism. So basically my conclusion, there wasn't anything abnormal, but I did find a small influence, which I was surprised about because I thought going into this assignment I was not going to find anything just because it is so personal, but I tried picking it apart and that is what I found when I picked it apart. So thank you for listening to my speech and good luck with the rest of your semester.